And there we go. All right, so let's get right into, there we go. All right, so let's get right into the Q&A. And again, thank you all for attending here today. So our first question, we've got to get past a bunch of the yeses here. Okay, so our first question here is from Daryl. So Daryl says, you mentioned Kijiji ads. Have you seen decent response from classified? So Daryl, yes, we have, but there is certainly a learning curve to it with the way that you produce. Here, we'll make sure that, that you can hear me here. With the way that you produce that actual content, which again is why it's great to be able to create this content quickly using your phone, because you're going to go through a bunch of ads until you find a format that works. So yes, it does generate leads, and it does generate actually a decent quality lead that comes through those sources. But definitely you've got to work a lot of content through the system in order to get the results from it. So yeah, we see, again, that's pretty much across the board with every advertising platform that we're using, whether it's Facebook ads, LinkedIn ads. Your first ad probably coming out of the gate isn't going to be a raging success. Now, you obviously have a foot forward because you've got access to this information. You've got access to the library where you've got templates where we get you out of the gate with a campaign that is most likely to convert. But every marketplace is a little bit different, so you got to modify it. And it's kind of like that with every one that you launch. So hopefully that helps you out, but definitely give it a try and let me know how it goes for you. Our next question here is from Karen. So Karen says, I'm focused right now on empowering women who are recently single. I totally get how to speak to their reality, but how do you do it in a way that's not offensive to everyone else that views the ads? Okay, wow. Well, Karen, first, congratulations on finding a niche within the mortgage business. That's fantastic, and it's great to see you helping people that way. So as far as not being abrasive, just keep in mind that the examples that we just went through were, I wanted to make them kind of outrageous so that you can fit them to your business, but also see how creative you could get with the process behind them. So I certainly wouldn't say to be that aggressive with your advertising. And when you're speaking to, again, a sensitive issue, which you are, I would definitely make the attention part of the advertisement more focused around how you help people and around any positives that you can put to that situation, and definitely focus on the positives for people that are in that situation and use that to attract them into your marketing. And then the interest portion of when they click on that Facebook ad, or they click on the ad that you have online, or they see your print ad, or they read the post that you've put on social media, when they get to the website is really what's going to expand on the full how you help people and potentially some of the more abrasive information that you have as part of the sales process, because you're helping people through a difficult period in their life, it sounds like. So that's what I would do, is I would make the advertisements 100% positive, 100% focused on empowerment and helping people. And then within the copy of the actual interest portion, then those 3 bullet points, address those more abrasive points and then put the positive spin on top of it. That would probably serve your audience the best, I think, and you probably as well. So hopefully that's helpful for you. And again, thank you for attending the event, and thank you for being here. Our next question, or actually, this is more of a statement from David. Hey, David, great to see you on the webinar. The ADA formula, I love it. I've been using it for 10 years and it works, so awesome. That's always great to hear. Sometimes it's nice to hear tried and true methods again to make sure that we are all using them as best we can, right? Okay, so from Deborah. Deborah says a darn good idea, Chris, using the voicemail. So I'm glad that you found that helpful. And then another one from Terry here. Terry says, hi, Chris, once again, great presentation. Just a simple yes or no answer will do. Is it possible to retarget a boosted post on Facebook? So Terry, the answer to that question is no. You do, for the retargeting ads that you're running, you have to run them through the Ads Manager platform, and they do show up as an ad. Now, the great thing about Facebook ads is you can really structure the new ad formats to look a lot like a regular post, but you can't just write a post on your business page and then target that boosted post to a retargeting audience. You have to do it through the Ads Manager. So again, I know that you're learning your way around the Facebook advertising platform, and you've got access to great information, an entire webinar on Facebook ads via First National inside the library, and that'll help guide you through that process as well to help you. So great to see you taking action on getting those Facebook ads run. That's fantastic. Okay, our next question is from Susan. Susan says, I'm just getting ready to run my first Facebook ad. All right, awesome. That's great, Susan, and you're on the right path. Once things slow down. Of course, it's a busy time of year, and that's good to hear. So do you find rate-based ads perform better than free consultations or offers for information? So Susan, that's a great question. I am definitely of two minds on this topic, because our general audience is being somewhat conditioned online to be focused on rate, even though in my personal opinion that's not the right, I shouldn't say the right, but it's I think putting people off on the wrong foot on the main thing that they're focusing on with their mortgage. So you tend to see a lot of people defaulting to advertising on rate. And what I've discovered is that the leads that come through a process like that are a lot harder to work with. They're less loyal. They're in many cases less interested in the information and the value add that brokers in general and agents in general really do bring to the table. They just want to have that one question or that one topic conversation. So what we've found is by switching our advertisements to empowering and engaging and teaching and really getting out and helping people through consultations, through teaching them through the mortgage process, through teaching them how to actually intelligently shop for their financing, that the people that you get that contact you after seeing that and seeing your online ratings and reviews are a much higher quality prospect, and they're a much higher quality client, and they're a much higher quality referral partner in your business after the transaction. So even though you may not get that shock value of advertising what everybody else is advertising, you'll generate fewer leads but higher quality people. So you waste less of your time with the looky-loos, and you do end up closing just as much business, and if not more business over time, because of the quality of the prospects that you're bringing through your funnel. So it's definitely my recommendation that you stay focused on empowering people, educating people, using social media as a platform to educate the general public about what you bring to the table, which is a lot more than just rate, right? And the other thing that I would hasten to add to that is when you are perceived as an educator, and when you're perceived as somebody that is educating the general audience and using Facebook ads and even just general ads, print ads, if that's what you're doing, when you go into the marketplace as an educator, it really helps to position you in the marketplace as an expert and not just a commodity. And that helps grow the pie for everybody. And that, I personally think that's a great thing. So, that's my thoughts on that. And thank you for the excellent question. So to Terry, you are absolutely welcome. And again, thank you for being on the webinar, and thank you for the kind words. Our next question here is from Lauren. Lauren says, how do you automate follow-up emails? Lauren, wow, that is a very simple question with a little bit of a more detailed answer that is necessary. So you need some form of platform in order to do that. So there are services out there like Aweber or MailChimp, which are very low-cost options. And what that allows you to do is to put a form on your website or put a form on social media, put a form on your business page. And when people fill out that form, that software has the emails already in it and will automatically send emails to the person that filled out their information without you having to do anything. But you definitely need third-party software, and there's a cost associated for most, if not all, of those services. I know MailChimp has a free trial, and you can put a certain number of contacts in there until you have to start paying for it, but I'm not sure exactly what the costs are just off the top of my head because I don't want to give you the wrong numbers. But they are reasonably cost-effective. Now, that being said, it's also worth it to look into the options that you may have through the organization that you're with. I know that some of them offer autoresponders as part of the suite of stuff that you get. So that's definitely worth a look as well. So again, I am a huge believer in the autoresponder model because I feel it allows us to give our clients more value without us having to be there to actually provide the value. Because let's face it, I mean, even right now, with how busy everybody is in the business right now, it's very difficult to carve out time to work on growing your business and building your business. A lot of us are in the transaction mode right now. So you want to make sure that the leads that you are still generating through all of your social media activity are still getting a fantastic experience, and you're converting as many of them as possible, and autoresponders help you to do that. So Aweber and MailChimp are two excellent options to get started with in order to get autoresponders going. And you can also you can input your database into those systems and have those sequences go out to your database as well. So hopefully that helps you out as well. Our next question is from Kim. Kim says, I love these ad images. Where did you get those made? So that I'm assuming is probably the cartoon images that I showed up there on the screen. Again, those are just for example's sake to try and get your brain moving around all of the different ways that you can take storytelling and work it into your social advertising. Now, as to where I got them done, we actually have a graphics designer on staff that helped create those and does a lot of the visuals in our social advertising and for our social clients. But the option that I give you just at the end of our presentation here today with Fiverr or potentially Upwork, those are two services where there are graphics designers that will work for incredibly low cost. To give you a ballpark with other consulting clients that are having graphics design work done on the side, you should be able to get a graphics pack like that done for about $20, $25. As long as you're very clear with what you want out of the gate to the graphics designer. They're normally really good at coming back and getting you what you need. So you can use either of those services just to look for a graphics designer. My recommendation is to sort them by reviews. Read the reviews that people have left for them online. That's normally a pretty good way to go out and find a contractor that's going to do good work for you. And then just look through their portfolio. If you like the style that they have, that's probably going to work out really well for you. So hopefully that helps you on your way, and I would love to see those ads once you get them up and running. So when you do, tag me in a post on Facebook or shoot me an email. I'd love to see them. Our next question here is from Joseph. So Joseph says, you mentioned that website content helps rankings. I've never updated my site. Do I need to make more pages or start a blog? So Joseph, great question. It doesn't really matter whether you're just adding pages to your website or you're starting a blog. It's kind of the same thing when you're generating that content. It's just important that it gets on the site. I would definitely say take the template that I gave you and use that to create the content. But I do want to be just totally open with you and let you know that it's not just the content production that helps with that. It's an added benefit. So I put it into the slides, but there is other work that happens to help that move. So just the content creation itself won't get that movement for you, but having the content on your website and then driving traffic to that content through Facebook ads or Twitter ads or LinkedIn ads or classified ads or ads in the paper, that's the strategy. Provide the value, use the advertisements up front to grab the attention, pull them to the interest piece, work them through answering those 3 questions, and then have that strong call to action at the bottom. That's the workflow that you're looking for. When you get the organic ranking that comes onto that content, that's just the bonus. That's kind of the cherry on top. But you can use it as a paid strategy so that you don't have to do any of the technical stuff in order to get that to rank. So hopefully that helps you out and helps to steer you in the right direction. But definitely content creation is key, especially with where online marketing is going in today's marketplace. Some more kind words. Awesome. Thank you very much. And thank you for attending the event. It's great to have you here. And it looks like we are down to our final question. So any other questions that you have, feel free to reach out in the Q&A panel there. But our final question here is from Gary. Gary says, any tips on hiring a virtual assistant? What specifically do they do? So Gary, what you're looking for is essentially a content manager. So you're looking for somebody, when you produce the content, you send it to them. They take the content and they put it on your website. They post it on your Facebook page. They post it on your LinkedIn account. They potentially turn it into a Pulse article on LinkedIn. That person will take that content and syndicate it, just like Hootsuite does or any of those other automated tools. But they can get that content up on your website. And what it does is it makes it so that you're not stuck on implementation of the actual content. It is enough effort to create the content itself. If you're also responsible for the person, to be the person that is pressing the buttons to make sure that it goes on the website, it goes on Facebook, it goes on LinkedIn, there's a high likelihood that it's just going to end up stuck on your desktop. You're going to come back a week later, it's still going to be there. So this person is there just to help you with implementation. And you can go very far with content syndication, but it's my recommendation that as mortgage professionals, you're only focusing on the channels where you already have a following of clients and customers. Don't get caught up in trying to take your content and put it everywhere and go viral with it. Just make sure that your clients, your past customers, your center of influence is seeing that content. The referral partners that you're working with, make sure that they're seeing that content. That's enough. You know, that's where the referrals are going to come from and all that good stuff. So here's another great question. Can other people steal your content? Is there a way to make it look proprietary? So excellent question. So Google actually has a tool, and it is, again, you've caught me off guard. I don't know the actual name of the tool off the top of my head, but it claims authorship on your content when you produce it and put it on your website. So there are tools out there that you can use to go out and search for duplicate content. So when you install that tool on your website, and if you look up Google copywriting protection tool, that will probably pop up that tool. And again, it escapes me right now. But once you install that on your content, Google knows it came from you. So even if somebody does take your content and post it on one of their channels or on one of their websites, Google knows it's duplicate content and they won't get any benefits from it. Other than that, you know, the internet is pretty open with people, you know, picking content from different places and posting it out there. I would say, you know, just write your best. Make sure that it is put on your website first before you kind of publish it out, and you know, put your you know, contact information on the bottom of it. And that's about as much as you can do without getting really, really serious about copyright protection. Perhaps that you know, if that content that you're producing does go out and help somebody, even though it may come from somebody else, maybe that's a good thing. But obviously we want you to get the end result of producing all your high quality content. But I don't think it's as much a sticking point as many may feel. One last little point on that, we produce a lot of content and have had seen it come up in other, you know, channels, and you know, we're happy to see that, because again, it's just, you know, I take it as a pat on the back that it's really good, solid content. So that's how I personally approach that. So from Chris says, we talked to Tim during a free 30-minute consultation. Great insights. When can we follow up with next steps? Chris, I will have Tim reach out to you. And thanks for the follow-up and being on the event. I hope you got more great value from the event and from our sponsor, First National, for providing it. So from Rick. Okay, so Rick is basically asking the same insightful question. So what if we take the time to generate all this content on our website? What's to stop somebody else from copying it and killing the SEO? So all you've got to do is just make sure that you're signed up on Google Webmaster Tools, and you've got that tool installed. As soon as you publish it, it's like, dibs, that's my content, and Google knows, like, they've got it in the engine. there's a tool out there called Copyscape. Just Google Copyscape, and you can go in and take take any website and punch the address in there, and Copyscape will show you all of the other places where that content is placed online. And there is always an original authorship that's assigned to it. So it may end up in other sources, but they're not going to get the SEO advantage of the content that you have produced, because Google knows who the first person was to post that authorship on it. Now, there's another tool that's just kind of come to me, and again, the name is going to escape me, of course, because I'm live on webcam. I'm getting asked questions. But on your, if you're running a WordPress blog, there is a tool, I want to say it's Discus, but that's a service that uses the tool, but there is a profile stamp that you can get, that you can put on your content as well. And it is, it's an avatar with you. So you put your picture on it, you put your bio, you put your description on it, and you use that to essentially just kind of tag yourself at the bottom of your content. And that's just another way to put it into another engine that gives you original authorship over your content. So what I'll do is, I'll go out and get these resources, find the links, and I'll put them on the replay page down at the bottom, so that the people that are watching the Q&A over the weekend, or if you're watching this inside the membership area, underneath there is the links that I've mentioned, where I've gone out, done the research, found the tools, and put the hyperlinks for them at the bottom. So hopefully that helps as well. And again, people swiping content online, as long as you're the first person to publish it, you get the SEO results, and you're protected, you're okay. All right, next question. And again, if you have any other questions, feel free to type them into the chat box there. This is from Jen. How would you make a big promise to an A client? Okay, so I'm assuming we're talking about, job letter, pay stub. That's the type of client that we're looking to bring in through the funnel. And again, so that big promise, again, comes from the education perspective, and everybody's going to be a little bit different on the one thing that's really going to hook them. So again, you may have an investor that is looking to, not an investor, but somebody that's looking to buy a second home. They fit within all the guidelines, but their real question is, how do you have two mortgages? Can you do that? Can First National help with that financing? Is that something that fits? So that's a specific customer that's going to have a very specific question set, and you can provide unique value because you're going to be one of the only people, if not the only person in the industry that's answering that specific question for that specific person. And again, using Facebook ads, you can target them incredibly well. So when they see it pop up on their newsfeed, they go, hey, that's perfect for me. I need that information right now. And it's a great way to open that up. So just an A client, I see where the question comes from, because it's very difficult to say, okay, I want to generate just high quality A business. What are those people's questions? You really need to break them down into subcategories of, okay, here's all of the deals that I see in that high level A category, and what are the specific question sets for each one of those people, and answering those questions. So again, we had a question earlier in the Q&A of somebody that was focusing on a specific niche in a specific marketplace, and that's a great way to go out and do that. So try and think of it as less of a business, and really look at your book, over the last year, of all of that really, the A business that you've done. Who are those people? What was kind of the psychographic profile behind them? What jobs did they have? And what were the main sticking points that they had when they called you? If you can distill it down to that specific person, you're going to get a lot better response when you can write specifically to them. So you're not going to write one ad set, you're probably going to write 5 or 6. One might be just for people that are, self-employed but in the job over 2 years or whatever. You really need to drill down into that and write the advertisements and the interest pieces for each one of those. So hopefully that helps out. And we're just going to refresh here, make sure I don't miss anybody. Looks like we are all good. Perfect. Okay. so, and we are right on time. And so I want to say thank you to everybody for investing your time here in the webinar. Hope that you have enjoyed it. This is our 26th event. A big thank you to First National Financial for bringing us all together and helping us as an industry to grow and to educate. So with that, hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. Keep an eye out in your inbox for the replay link that is going to come out tomorrow morning, and that replay link will have access to the slide deck on it, as well as all of the content. And again, on Monday, that gets taken down. We move it into the membership area where we have all of our previous episodes available for you. And you can reach out to your account manager at First National in order to get access to that library, as long as you're in good standing. And keep an eye out for an email on Monday where we're going to be sending out the link that you can send to your referral partners. So these are your realtors, your lawyers, where we're going to teach the same content, but specific to their businesses so that you get credit for the content rather than being sponsored by First National. It's sponsored by you, and it just helps you to grow better, stronger, new relationships with referral partners. So keep an eye out for that as well. Again, thank you for your time, everybody. Really looking forward to seeing you on next month's event, and I'll talk to you soon. Later.